Welcome in. It is It's Sunday, right?
It is Sunday.
It's
Lord's
Sunday.
Day.
And it's time for Soup and Meatballs, show 44. Today's a special day, Tim. Do you know what today is?
The 21st day of September, as Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is what people tune in for, to watch two old white guys dance to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
On my little rectangle. Yeah, there we go. Good times.
So for this week, we're Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Soup and Meatballs.
Earth, Wind, and Soup and Meatballs. Which, I mean, I'm going to start out with, I hadn't realized the date. Usually, like half an hour before showtime, I'll get on TikTok and just scroll around and see what's up. And this song is all over TikTok today for obvious reasons. But you've got to tell people what you've been watching on TikTok this week, because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a guy. I can't remember the account's name, but he eats like the presidents. Like he eats like their daily meal. And geez, William Howard Taft was an animal. That guy ate like 8,000 calories a day.
He was the one who ate possum, right?
Yeah, he ate possum pie.
So this guy had to get his dad to send him. This guy lives in California.
Yeah, he's from Pennsylvania. He lives in California now.
He shipped him possum.
And I'll tell you, and look, all politics aside, this is apolitical.
Yeah.
Trump's diet is the diet of a madman. He doesn't eat breakfast. He eats a bag of Doritos for lunch. And then he eats 2 Big Macs and 2 Filet-O-Fish for dinner.
All right.
And he drinks 144 ounces of Diet Coke.
I can, the Doritos I'm down with. Let's
and they're nacho cheese, which I like. I'm not a Cool Ranch guy.
All right. He's all right. Well, now he's on the list. The Big Macs, that's a classic staple of McDonald's. How can you eat the Filet-O-Fish?
So this guy explains, apparently, because people know Trump's a germaphobe. And in Trump's mind, like the fact that it's a big corporation and the liability of like serving a tainted burger would be less than at like a small.
I'm okay with the burger. I'm not okay with the Filet-O-Fish.
Like, can you just imagine the breath?
I've eaten the Filet-O-Fish during Lent. It's not good.
Look, I love.
Triple up on the French fries on those Fridays.
I love fish, but like ultra processed fast food fish, no thanks.
I will go. I like the fish sticks they have at Red Robin. They're it's clucks and fries, they call it. You get they're stupid fish sticks. It's whatever. I was actually more interested in Benjamin Harrison's consumption of soup that you said was even too much for you.
It was excessive.
How much soup was he eating?
He was eating at least 3 bowls a day.
That's not that bad. Are they like big, massive, like dog bowl size bowls? Or are they?
They weren't. They were like bowl size portions, not like cups of soup. With every meal.
Is cereal a soup?
No. Now you're being ridiculous. Possum pie, okay.
I'm the one being ridiculous.
Don't be fat.
And my cough is back for the followers of Soup and Meatballs. Remember last summer I was a coughing wreck, but
more like Group and Meatballs.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. Good weekend of football here. We're gonna start out with our guys at Michigan. And Michigan had a really tough road test at Nebraska. Nebraska coming in, they're 3-0, and Michigan had won their previous 5 Big Ten openers, and they've got a freshman on the road. It's a tough environment. A lot of the Sea of Red was in full force, and the Wolverines' running game, they came out, they were awesome. 290 yards on the ground, and especially at the end of the game when everybody knew they were going to run the ball, Justice Haynes was a madman. Picked up 150, 140, something like that yards, a big 75-yard touchdown run. Did you get to see this game?
Yeah. I got to see
you saw the whole thing or not.
I got to see most of it.
Okay.
And obviously having a running game that effective helps. But I was really impressed with how Bryce Underwood continues to just grow into the role. You talk about a freshman on the road, and I thought he looked great.
Okay. I thought he looked okay. There were times he missed some throws. He overthrew some guys. There was pressure. Against the blitz, he didn't play as well, but his mobility helped him. They rolled him out a lot.
Right.
And what's weird is they rolled him to his left, and he throws across his body really well. It looks awkward. I don't like seeing it, but those were completed passes. I like those.
Now, I should say I'm grading on a curve based on how he looked on the road at Oklahoma 2 or 3 weeks ago. This was a big improvement. Now, obviously, the competition's not – Oklahoma looks for real, especially after they beat Auburn yesterday. But like you said, Nebraska's 3-0, and the fan base has some juice.
The couple of things about the game, and I don't think you saw this because I had texted you and you didn't write back. What's the guy's name? I mean, I have it written down here. I've been credit him where credit's due. It's in the second half, and we'll start at the first half. Some bad clock management allowed Nebraska to get themselves in a position to hit a Hail Mary with 1 second left that tied the game, and it really felt like Nebraska had some buzz going into halftime. But Michigan got the ball back to start the second half, so I wasn't like they're not going to get a 2-for-1 deal. Later in the second half, though, Michigan has a 10-point lead, and they just force a 3-and-out, like inside Nebraska's 15-yard line. And Brandon Hillman goes over to the Nebraska sideline or thereabouts and starts taunting them, and he gets flagged. 15 yards, first down, and then Nebraska goes on a 75-yard touchdown drive march. And I really thought right there that was going to be a turning point. But Michigan's running game kind of stopped that. But that was a stupid penalty. And then he almost got called for a targeting penalty later, but the referees wiped it off because the wide receiver wasn't defenseless. I was going to say, like, that it didn't look like he led with his head. He went in on his shoulder. It was a good, clean football hit, but he was close to getting called for a target.
This is going to be a little bit of a soapbox moment here, but I understand that they're trying to enforce, sportsmanship or whatever, but I feel like, with the emphasis on flagging taunting, we're already dealing with people accusing referees of controlling games too much with betting lines. I think that every extra bit of officiating overreach just makes that a more plausible charge. When we can't define explicitly what taunting is, it's just the eyeball test. Official to official gets to just rule in their own mind. It's not a set guideline. It's no, that looks like taunting to me. Yeah, I'm going to change the game by throwing a flag.
I'll tell you what. If you get a chance to go watch the highlight, I got the referees back on this one. Hillman did something stupid, and for whatever reason, Martindale didn't take him out of the game. Like, honestly, the next 3 plays, he should have been on the bench getting his rear end chewed out for being stupid. Because I watched the rest of the drive. The rest of the drive, he did nothing. He wasn't in on any tackles, any pass breakups. That was just so frustrating that, look, if you're going to taunt, at least have something to taunt about. You did nothing on that drive except extend it for Nebraska. Now, I'm with you on where taunting, where that line is. He was so far over the line in this example that it was a dumb move on his part. The targeting thing, that I think that, they were flagged for it. Now, there was 2 flags on that play. They were offsides and the target. The catch was made anyway, so Nebraska would have declined it, but it made it seem like it was still a penalty on Michigan. Had it been upheld, I think Hillman gets chucked out of the game and he misses the first half of Wisconsin, which, again, that part of targeting is like you've got to coach kids not to lead with their heads, or there's going to be ramifications for it. But you're absolutely right with betting lines and stuff like that. Just on this one, Hillman's dumb.
I'm curious. Do you think between him not getting yanked from the game and the clock mismanagement at the half, Do you think that's at all attributable to the interim coaching situation and
No,
just like a lack of a clear voice?
I wonder whose decision it is to call the plays. I still think it's probably the offensive coordinator. When Moore comes back, I don't know how much sway he has. But these last two games, even the announcers have said, like, they've opened it up for Underwood now. And, like, it's like the training wheels are off. You're not a freshman anymore, kid. You're 1-0 in the Big Ten. Let's go. I don't know in that regards. But in penalties, clock management, yeah, that's coaching. And look, I like Bill Poggi or however you say it. He had to wear sleeves in the Central Michigan game. He didn't like that. So yesterday he wore his sleeveless with you could tell he was wearing a shirt underneath.
Yeah.
And he was very complimentary of Underwood after the game. Last week he called him Batman. This week he actually mentioned the fact that if you look at his stats, they don't pop off the page, but the leadership qualities this kid has, what you see in the huddle, that is you don't see that on paper. And that's what I like to hear from coaching. Like, you have a leader now. And that's what they didn't have last year.
I know a lot of the criticism and frustration. I know I felt it. I know I heard other people sort of voice it after the loss at Oklahoma, was that Michigan was too conservative with the play calling. And I wonder if they're learning in these last two games how to call a game for this kid.
I wonder if Michigan and Oklahoma played week 4 at Oklahoma, if it would be different.
Oklahoma had 10 sacks yesterday.
Oh, no. Absolutely. Like you said, they handled Auburn. And like I wrote down in my little notes here, the loss isn't looking too awful now. So
Oklahoma's going to be a top 10 team when the vote comes out this week. They were 11. They just beat Auburn. They're going to keep climbing, and that loss is only going to look not better, but less bad.
No, it looks bad. You can say better, right? And it sounds weird to say that, but no, I can tell you one top 10 team that's not going to be in the top 10 next week. Dude, Illinois just got spanked. Indiana, I don't know if that was in Indiana. I think it was in Indiana. Indiana clobbered them. It was 63-10. This game was 35-10 at halftime, and I don't think it was that close. It was like 35-3, and Illinois mustered a touchdown drive late. I think Indiana might be for real, man.
Yeah, this was a unique week for the Big Ten to see Wisconsin get taken out by Maryland, and then to see Illinois just get embarrassed. It really kind of gives you an idea of the new pecking order in the conference.
The Indiana quarterback, I love his name. You know the Indiana quarterback?
No.
Fernando Mendoza.
That sounds made up.
Mendoza.
That's the first thing I think of, The Simpsons.
He 267 yards passing. He ran the ball very, very minimally. The Indiana has two running backs, Martin and Black, who control the line of scrimmage really well, and Indiana now 4-0 on their way to Iowa before a big game with Oregon. That'll be a big Big Ten game. The other big game, I get in the AP rankings, Texas Tech and Utah. I was watching the Syracuse Clemson. I think that was the game that had the weather delay. There was lightning.
Yeah.
And who saw Syracuse beating Clemson, by the way? But Texas Tech and Utah were playing a fun game until the fourth quarter, when Texas Tech just exploded for 4 scores, and they pulled out a 24-point win.
Yeah.
If you were interested, and I'm not sure anybody's interested at this stage of the game, ESPN has put out their prediction or where they feel the top 12 would be. So on the screen right now is, if the playoffs started today, I love that phrase, but this would be the presumptive top 12. Indiana gets bumped by Memphis winning the American Conference.
Miami at 1.
Miami at 1. They're 4-0.
They're on drugs. Yeah, not Miami.
No, well,
Hey, this is the evidence for ESPN being on drugs.
there
Everything
it
else.
is. But if you remember last year's playoffs where all the top 4 seeds got bumped, I think Penn State Oregon would be. That's a great game.
Do they play next week, Penn State and Oregon?
Yeah. It's the whiteout game. Let me triple check here, because I know that Penn State, they were off today.
Yeah.
They were off this week rather, and they have the whiteout game should have been next. Yes, 9:27 versus Oregon. And then, after Oregon, it gets precipitously easier. UCLA, Northwestern, and Iowa before the big trip to Columbus.
Yeah, I'm very curious. A lot of the Penn State fan friends who either on Facebook or Twitter, there seems to be a bit of anxiety around the offense not being better.
Yeah, I saw a video where this guy's complaining that they're not scoring 70 points. He is not a fan. What did he say? Like, I don't want a ball control offense. Why not?
Yeah. I think the frustration is that, they wanted to go out there and put up a 60 burger on Villanova,
Well, that's the Nuke LaLoosh thinking. They want to announce their presence with authority. Meanwhile, you get 3 ground balls on 5 pitches and you're doing better.
60-point wins are communist. Are they fascist? Or I'm trying to remember the quote now.
Communist, I think it was.
Yeah.
But, listen, if you can control the line of scrimmage, this is Big Ten football now, in November, you're not going to start throwing the ball all over Happy Valley. And they're showing pictures of the stats for the Prabula, whoever he was, who transferred to Missouri, and he has better numbers than Aller. At the end of the day, there's only one number that matters. It's 3. And the other number, 0.
And also, Penn State might have the best backfield in the country.
They do. The top 5 easily. The running game they have. And they have a very scary defense. That's how you win in the Big Ten. Run the ball, play defense. But no, they're going to pressure Franklin into doing something stupid, and he's going to do something stupid against Ohio State, and he's going to lose because he did something stupid.
Well, I think we're going to learn a lot next week, because I think Oregon has maybe, with what they lost, caught some people by surprise. I don't think they thought Oregon would be this good this soon. And like I said, I think people have some questions about Penn State offensively. So I think we're going to learn a lot next week.
I think we're going to learn that Penn State, during whiteout games at night, is a whole new team.
I think Penn State beats Oregon by a touchdown or 2.
I think it's a double-digit game. If it was a new kickoff, I could see a 7-8 point game. But yeah, at home and at night, I'm telling you, they're like an NFL team.
I said it last week, although I ended up being wrong. But the drawback of traveling cross country for a primetime game, that's a lot.
It is,
especially in college.
I don't know when Oregon will probably leave Friday, but that's only a day to get used to. I think playing the night game time-wise might help Oregon. Environment-wise, no. Environment-wise, forget about it.
Just losing 3 hours. Nighttime probably does help them adjust a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of environment and staying in college football, our guys down in Division II, some exciting environments in Indiana and Bloomsburg yesterday. IUP just absolutely throttled Millersville. They rolled up 721 total yards of offense, and the 70-24 score was really skewed in the fourth quarter because the third and fourth stringers gave up like 17 points. This game was 49-7 at halftime, and the only struggle that IUP had was coming out of the broadcast booth.
I won't
poo-poo on the kids because they're probably kids. But the Bloomsburg announcers were into it. I felt like they actually wanted to be there at least.
I did enjoy the Bloomsburg broadcast. I enjoyed them doing the Sunday Night Football kind of intros for the players.
Yeah, I missed it. I didn't see that.
And BU didn't put up 70, but they got a W, which they went in 0-2. They kind of handled Edinburgh for the most part. Put up 450 plus on offense. KJ Riley went over 5,000 for his career passing yards. So
sixth Husky in history to do that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the list this week isn't who are the 5 before him.
Pat Carey, Eric Miller, Dan Latour. They have to be 3 of them at least.
Okay, I'm sure.
Yeah, but watching that game, you can see why they're not 3-0, even though they had 2 very winnable games in week 1 and week 2. And just that there are certain things on offense that are there that they're not hitting on. There was one play that was drawn up where the receiver got 20 yards behind the defense. It should have been a walk-in 70-yard touchdown. And the pass was just a tad overthrown, but catchable, and it ended up on the turf.
Gotcha. Which actually reminds me, back to the Michigan game. Michigan ran a trick play where they had a pass back, like a double pass, which could have been a touchdown, but it was just woefully underthrown. So Bloomsburg overthrows, Michigan underthrows. But their Bloomsburg is 1-2, right in the middle of the East. And IUP, I can't say anything really good or bad. I mean, Millersville came in 0-2. They're 0-3 now. IUP just had their way with them. But whatever they did worked. They ran the ball better, but still not really. They didn't have a great running day. Their quarterback set a school record with 6 touchdown passes, so they throw the ball all over the place. But I'd like to see them get the running game better.
Did IUP? Did they lose to Clarion?
No, they lost to Ashland in week 1.
All right.
And in that game, I turned it off, and they had a lead. It's the second half. The second half is not IUP's friend, and the fourth quarter I'm going to put on the backups being in, but yeah, the first two games they played, they do not play well after halftime.
Yeah, and now I know next week BU gets the alma mater of a certain other Gemelli.
Yeah, the Shippensburg
I
comes
believe
to
they're
town.
playing at Shippensburg.
No, it's at Bloomsburg.
Isn't it? I thought they were on the road at Ship.
I will look one more time. I have it written down in my notes here. Bloom home next week. So let's just triple check, because I checked it once, and when you go to Bloom's website, they default to this really weird game page. Schedule. Okay. Oh, you know what? It says Shippensburg, PA. Why did I think this was home?
Mr. Smarty Pants.
I can't read the website. Yeah, so they will be down here. You're welcome to come. So we can roll up. We can have a remote show in the Hyges Fieldhouse.
We could tailgate.
Yeah, sure.
We'll bring 8-treat sodas and a hibachi grill.
Yes. IUP has Seton Hill next week. Seton Hill coming in 2-2. That'll be, I guess, a big game. Shippensburg, you have to think that's a winnable game for Bloomsburg just based on records. I don't know what Shippensburg has. I guess we'll find out next week. I can tell you at the high school level, I can tell you what Hazelton didn't have. Hazelton didn't have its starting quarterback, and they didn't have its backup quarterback either.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I saw they lost.
Freddie Corrado, their starting quarterback, broke his non-pitching arm. And we get 2 Jake's takes here. Jake's take number 1, he said if he was the Penn State baseball coach, he'd be on the phone with Mr. Corrado way, but like look, a couple days ago, like look, you're done with football now. You're lucky because you're not a pitching arm. You got a chance to play college baseball. Let's leave the football alone. And I told him, I said, I don't know if college coaches think like that because they want their kids to be athletic and have them compete. But I think that's got to be a consideration for them going into next year. But they played tight. I mean, Valley West came in, they lost 24 games in a row. So you lose that game, it's a bummer. Chambers went to State College, and the band did not go, so I did not go. The band is going to make the trip to Altoona this year instead of State College. State College is a tough team. They're a top 10 team in the state. As a matter of fact, I saw this graphic here, and let's see if I can pull it up here. According to Mr. PA Football, whatever that means, State College is ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excuse me, they're ranked 8th in the state.
So now Chambersburg in the last 3 weeks has done CD East, McDevitt, or was it McDevitt, Harrisburg, and State College?
Yeah, you got it. So Bishop McDevitt not listed here in the top 20. But amazingly, St. Joseph's Prep is 0-3.
Have they been playing teams out of state? Because I know there have been other times where they've started 1-2, 1-3, or something like that.
Because they're playing like IMG and they played a team, the number 1 team in Maryland. They played I think they played a Florida team to start the year.
Yeah, and then once they get into the District 12, then into the state, they tend to roll.
Yeah, they have Harrisburg listed number 2. They have State College number 8. Bishop McDevitt didn't make the cut there, but that's 3. That's a gauntlet for any high school in Pennsylvania. It might be a gauntlet for any high school in the country.
And CD East was tough back in, what was that, week 2?
Yeah, well, CD East was tough last year. CD East rolled. They won 7 games in a row, and then they played McDevitt, Harrisburg, and State College. Then they ended the year 7-4. I
was impressed when I saw them though in the first half of that game. Didn't they jumped out to a 21-0 lead against?
Yeah. Was there running Avery Romaine, first play from scrimmage, 80-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
And you kind of up in the broadcast booth, you kind of got the feeling like, here we might go again. And give Chambersburg all the credit in the world. They came back and won the game 26-21. They kind of put the clamps on Romaine after that first big run. He didn't have a big run after that. Yeah. And they played State College's running game pretty well. They have a running back going to Syracuse. He didn't get 100 yards against them. And this is a Chambersburg team without their starting quarterback, another guy with a broken arm. They just lost one of their starting linebackers, who I have in accounting class, who's a good kid. And he's got a meniscus tear or something on his knee. His knee is immobilized for a couple of weeks. I feel bad for the kid, but so they're down a linebacker and they still hold this Syracuse recruit to under 100. That's something.
That's impressive. What was the final score with State College?
40-0.
Okay.
It was enough after the first quarter, but then it snowballed. Bad field position, turnovers hurt. And you go in with a backup quarterback who's a sophomore. This kid's getting better. The coach came out and said he's going to be a good player someday. He's getting experience now. You go through your lumps, and you know how it is when we have a freshman quarterback at Michigan. He went through his lumps at Oklahoma, and hopefully he gets better as the season goes along. It's kind of what you hope for out of this kid.
Yeah. Yeah, tough to be going through a stretch like that in any circumstance. But then, when you're a sophomore backup quarterback thrown into the fire.
But now we know. Now he's a starter. So
right,
he preps that way. The week that Truitt got hurt, I want to say that was the Bishop McDevitt game. So the Bishop McDevitt game, you're not really, okay, I'll go through scout team and all this stuff. Next thing you know, it's the middle of the second quarter and you're the starting quarterback.
Right.
That's a tough feeling. But
on the road too. That was at McDevitt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a beautiful stadium except for all the lantern bugs. Yeah. I got assaulted by them and they're big and scary, and like I don't do well with bugs. Period.
That's like when I used to go to games down at Bloom High School, which some genius planner put it right by the Susquehanna River and right next to the sewage treatment plant. Just a brutal combination.
That's not the Christmas star, Grizz.
Just a nice combination of fish and feces.
The worst stadium I've ever coached in was up in Mifflin Township, and not only because the trip was like 2 hours on a bus through country mountains, the bugs there were just insatiable. They could not be. They just bit and bit and bit. They were never full. And I would come home, my legs would be all red, my arms are red, my face is red, the inside of my ears, inside of my nose. It was brutal.
That's the kind of home field advantage that doesn't get talked about enough. How buggy is the field?
And yeah, because it affects the coaches. Like, I was busy like scratching my ear, like versus actually trying to call an offense. And Mifflin was a pretty good team. They handled us pretty well when we played up there. So you know what? You're not wrong. That home field, that's a thing.
Yeah, people talk about where's the sun setting? How's the wind? What's the bug situation?
What is the bug situation? There are no bugs in Buffalo on Thursday, but Thursday's game was, I think, surprising to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, the line was the line 12?
Yeah, the Bills were giving 12.
Yeah, and most radio people said it was going to be triple that, and I had a hard time arguing with that. I didn't see the game because I don't turn Prime on. I just don't. Did you watch it?
I did.
I think you watched a little bit of it because you said Miami was playing well.
Yeah. They were running the ball well. They defended the Bills decently. And, like a lot of the pregame talk was about, I think people are still hung up, and rightfully so, on how badly they played in the opener against Indianapolis. They were a little more competitive with New England. But they looked like a team who actually cared. Because the pregame talk was, Mike McDaniel, if they get blown out in Buffalo, this could be his job.
Was he going to be coaching today?
Right.
Or was the job search going to start today for next week?
Yeah, where they're going to change the locks at the team facility.
The radio people said that the Miami's defensive coordinator, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he might be a hot name in the offseason. So do they fire this guy and get him in now? Like you said, if it was a blowout, it might have been an easier sell. But I mean, this is a team going nowhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, this team's not going to the playoffs. They're even at 0-2. I think the percentage is under 5%. Like the chances of going 0-2 and making the playoffs. Only one team in NFL history has gone 0-3 and gone to the playoffs, and that was the Texans out of a very weak AFC South a few years ago.
Oh, I got one better for you, man.
What's that?
I got an 0-4 team that went to the playoffs.
Who's that?
Arnie's Army. Was it 94 San Diego?
Did the team that went to the Super Bowl?
Hold on, man. Because this one I remember, because Chris Berman used to get all big into this. Chargers 0-4 playoffs. The 92 team. The 92 team started 0-4, finished 11-5, made the playoffs. They actually won the wild card game against the Chiefs, and they lost to the Dolphins.
Huh. So ESPN gave me bad information this week.
They said, the worldwide leader Mike took it.
The only 0-3 team.
Well, I mean, the Chargers were in fact 0-3. So
yeah, look, the road to 0-4 is paved with 3 previous losses.
Sure, but I mean, if you look at the Dolphins next week, they have the Jets, and I mean, the Jets looked good in a loss against was it Pittsburgh?
Yeah, in the opener.
Justin Fields looked almost like a quarterback. Then they played the Bills, and the Bills are the Bills. We'll see what the Jets do against the Bucs today. I don't know if I don't know if Fields is playing or if he's hurt. Check the injury thing. Justin Fields will not play against the Buccaneers. He has a concussion, so he's out.
Yeah, I think there are 5 guys who started week 1 at quarterback who are either questionable or out this week already.
Yeah.
Injury-wise. Jaden Daniels.
Is Daniels out too?
Yeah, he's not playing this week against the Raiders.
Gotcha. I mean, I know I'll segue to the Bears because this is like the big thing in Chicago now. Jalen Johnson, their all-pro corner, was placed on IR. I just saw today that one of their offensive tackles, Kieran I'm not going to play tackle anymore.
I'm not going to play today. Yeah,
he's the guy from Yale that they drafted, and he missed a lot of time last year. He's been banged up so much, and doesn't help the offensive line issues any. And I mean, with the game they have against Dallas, the best thing I can think of is that Ben Johnson knows the Dallas defensive coordinator really well because Matt Eberflus used to coach the Bears and Johnson used to outsmart him there. But like I said, Jalen Johnson out. The other corner, Kyler Gordon, is also out. So if you're picking a position group, I think CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are going over 100 today. And the only way Chicago has a chance is if Caleb Williams can kind of like hold serve offensively. I don't feel super confident about that. I don't think he plays poorly. I just don't think he plays well enough. I think I have Dallas 38-21 in this one. Sorry, we can't help the Eagles.
If Caleb Williams is going to ball out at any point, it's going to be against this Dallas defense because they made Russell Wilson look like he was 10 years younger.
True.
Last week he threw for 450 plus. He kept the Giants in that last week.
You know what? You made me feel a little better. I got Dallas 38-31 now. I'll give the Bears 10 more points.
I do think this game's going to be high scoring. The Chicago-Dallas game.
The Bears were high scoring last week. They just didn't keep up. As we were sitting here, I think Detroit's going to win. I didn't think they were going to put up 50.
Like, I mean, the conversation around Caleb Williams, if they lose again this week, and especially if the offense doesn't perform against this defense, like, you start to wonder.
The chirping will start.
What's that?
The chirping will start.
Yeah.
It hasn't already, but.
Like, if the Bears go 5-12 this year and Williams is subpar, like, how long a leash do you think he has?
I don't know, because you look at guys like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, and to a lesser extent, I think Zach Wilson was another one that played well in his second act. Like, you don't want to cut ties with him and have him go to, I don't know, Oakland, Las Vegas maybe, and have a resurgence. Like where was this in Chicago? I think you got to give him a little bit of a leash with an offensive coach. That's the other thing I see. Like, people complain, oh, Ben Johnson's not a head coach. Dude, slow down. He's 0-2. And the one game, like, I don't think anybody expected him to beat Detroit. The Minnesota game was a bummer. He had a lead and they didn't hold it. I mean, J.J. McCarthy just went crazy.
Isn't it funny how, like, just the hot take culture goes from, like, in 6 months, Ben Johnson being the biggest offensive genius in football to now he's 0-2 and it's like he's not head coach material.
Well, I mean, defensively, that's the thing about being a really good offensive coordinator, like the Norv Turner thing. He ran an offense really well, but the head coach has to oversee everything. And the defense has taken a massive step backward in the first 2 games. That's why I'm worried about Dallas coming in with Prescott, Lamb, Pickens, Turpin. I think they're going to have
tight end. He's a matchup problem.
And they have a good running back too. Williams, I want to say.
I can't remember who Dallas running back is.
I think it's going to be. I think Dallas is going to score a lot of points. Chicago has to keep up with them, and that's what we'll see. Philly, on the other hand, Philly, I think, has a tougher game. If you could have a tougher game, the Rams coming to town. What's the prevailing thoughts in Philadelphia?
Well, it's a playoff rematch from last year, and the Rams, they were a popular preseason pick to win the West on the strength of the offense is always going to be good with Sean McVay calling the plays, and a healthy Stafford throwing to, just the whole bevy of receivers he has. But that defensive line, too, they are really tough up front. So they're, you talk about chirping in Chicago. There's been some chirping in Philly about the offense has gotten off to a slow start. They didn't score a bunch in Kansas City. They struggled with Dallas at times on offense. So we'll see, if they're able to get things going a little bit on offense. There's also been a little bit about, why isn't A.J. Brown getting more touches or more targets? So we'll see if they try to get him involved. The one thing I think to look for is Saquon had 2 humongous games last year against the Rams. So we'll see, we'll see what aspect of the offense gets going. Hopefully, both. But and then defensively, we'll just see. CB2 is still a problem on defense. That second cornerback spot, and this is a team that can exploit that. So that gives me some concern.
Are you ready for Jake's take part 2?
I'm always ready for a Jake's take.
So he called me up yesterday, and he said, "Did you hear Tom Brady?" I said, "No, I didn't hear Tom Brady. What did Tom Brady say?" He said, "I agree with him." He said, "Tom Brady says that the NFL needs to officiate the tush-push better. The chirping around the league, and it happens every Sunday or every Monday because Greenberg and the rest of the morning crew, they'll bemoan this play. But if you look at the overhead, apparently the Eagles' offensive line is all lined up off sides, and they do a little bit of a false start. But because everyone is so tight, the referees can't officiate it properly. So my Jake take part 2. If the NFL doesn't learn how to officiate the tush push, they need to get rid of it. I would rather them see. I don't getting rid of a play to me is stupid, but having both teams lining up in the neutral zone, it's not a play anymore. It's weird. What do you think about that?
I have a couple of thoughts. To be like, our officials can't officiate this, so you can't do it anymore. Get better officials. Do your job better.
I'm with you there.
Second, the Eagles absolutely, there was the one right at the goal line where both guards fired early. It was a false start. And then there was the one overhead shot that I'm sure your dad's referring to where the center, Cam Jurgens, he's over the ball to the point where the ball is completely obscured. He is absolutely in the neutral zone. But guess what? Kansas City was leaving early too and firing into the neutral zone to try to stop it. So it's poorly officiated on both sides. I also think it's interesting that at first people were like, oh, player safety.
Oh,
no data to say that the play was illegal or was dangerous to player safety. Now they're like, they're in the neutral zone. People are grasping at every straw they can because it's the only way they can stop the play. They can't stop it on the field, so they're gonna try to stop it legislatively.
I'm with you. I don't want to see it go away.
And people who say, it's not a football play. It is the epitome of a football play. How is it any less of a football play than a normal quarterback sneak, other than a little help from behind?
No, I'm listen. I don't.
I think is a bigger
side.
I tell you what I think is a bigger problem, and Greg Olsen made the point, and I agree with him on the call for the Cowboys-Giants game. He was talking about how anytime a quarterback targets a receiver like 30 yards down the field for a back shoulder throw, and the receiver has to run through the defender to get it, it's going to be pass interference 100% of the time. That's not aesthetically pleasing, seeing an official throw a flag and then confer with his colleagues about what to call there, to see a ball rolling on the turf rather than a completed pass or a defended pass. That's a bigger problem than the tush push.
My qualm, my pet peeve quarterback wise is when the quarterback decides they're going to try to run and whether they go out of bounds or not. The Patrick Mahomes thing, because I've seen other quarterbacks do it. Like they'll deke you at one point. Like if I'm a linebacker, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to take the 15 yards. I'm going to take this guy's head off.
Yeah. I didn't love it when they were in Brazil and he trucked that guy from San Diego. Well, the Charger. I just did what you did with Oakland.
We're old. What are you going to do?
But he made like he was going out of bounds, and then he lowered the shoulder on the defender, and then he like kind of stood over him. It's the same as like the fake slide. It's if we're protecting quarterbacks and receivers and defenseless offensive players, then they can't then take the league defending them to act like tough guys.
Jake's take number 3 is it just in. He's calling it. It's not a football play. It is a rugby play.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So,
and look, if football doesn't have its origins in rugby, I'll eat my hat.
That's a nice hat.
I can buy another. Plus, I think I'm right. I think I'm right on this one.
There you go. Okay. Well, speaking of you being right, I'll tell you what, man. Last week you were an impressive 14-1.
Woohoo!
You know who let you down?
The Steelers?
Nope, Denver. Denver let you down. And of course, anytime you bet against Danny Dimes at your own peril, I suppose. So, quick hits.
That old gambling truism. Yeah. Who could possibly bet against Daniel Jones?
So here we go. You gave me Buffalo via text. So, I had already highlighted it, but, Buffalo is officially in. So just a winner. Cowboys at Bears.
Cowboys.
We have Packers at Browns.
Packers.
Colts at Titans.
Colts.
Bengals at Vikings.
Bengals.
Oh, I was going to say 18-0 is still in play.
Keep that campaign on ice, Zonka. Okay.
Steelers at Patriots.
Steelers.
Rams at the Eagles.
This is a real coin toss, but I'm going to, just like I did last week, tentatively say the Eagles. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams beat them.
Jets at Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Raiders at Commanders.
Raiders.
Falcons at the Panthers.
Falcons.
Texans are at the Jaguars.
Texans.
Broncos at Chargers. It's a big game.
Yeah, that's a nice matchup. Chargers.
The Saints are at the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Cardinals at San Francisco.
San Francisco.
And on Sunday night, big game here for the Chiefs. They're 0-2. Chiefs at the Giants.
We talked last week about my confidence pool. I've taken the Chiefs as my Tim Hare lock of the week.
It's the lock of the week. And then Monday night's game. Monday night's game is looking really nice. Detroit is at Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Okay. I was kind of interested here. For the first 5 games, you went with the road team. 8. Now you have 9 road teams pulling out a win this week.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but the gut says what the gut says.
I'm with you here. I mean, I'm not following along with you game by game. I don't know who I would pick in opposition to you in any game here. If I had to pick one where I'm going to say I think you're going to be wrong, I'll take the Vikings to knock off the Bengals. Again, they're home, but
I just thought Minnesota looked really lost against Atlanta. They just looked rudderless on offense.
I'm worried about the Bengals offense without Burrow, and the Bengals defense against Jefferson and Addison Jordan. Yeah, I think it's going to be I like the Vikings to win, but again, what do I know? Not a lot. That was a heaping 50 minutes of football. We'll have a little bit more football later on, but we're going to switch over to baseball here, and there's 2 big stories in baseball. So let's start with the good news or the happier news, I guess. Clayton Kershaw announced on Thursday that this season was going to be his last, and Clayton Kershaw is among the greatest pitchers of our lifetimes, probably the best pitcher of this generation. A career ERA of 2.54 I have written down here since 1920 is the best in the live ball era. What are your memories of Clayton Kershaw?
Yeah, just when you think of him, you just think of that 12-6 curveball. Just he's been devastating people for what, 18 years?
17. This might be his 18th year. His 18th year, he's 10-2. He's 37 years old.
And I mean, when you talk about not only like the greatest pitchers, but the greatest lefties, he's right up there with Koufax and Randy Johnson. Steve Carlton, Warren Spahn, list them however you want, but he's in the conversation for the best of them all.
Yeah. He has 222 wins, which just falls remarkably short of 300, which just tells you how insane that is to get. But with fewer than 100 losses, he has the most wins. I saw Ron Guidry is second. Ron Guidry has fewer than 100 losses, but 170 wins. So 52 more wins there for Kershaw. And if you were going to have a knock on him, what's the big knock on Kershaw?
Sure, big games, postseason. He got the reputation of kind of being a postseason choker. But
I'll tell you what, weird stuff happened in 2020. We had a shortened season. And he went out and went 4-1 that postseason with a 2.93 ERA, including a 8 shutout inning job of Milwaukee, 13 strikeouts. So he's had some success in the postseason. I think what got him that moniker, his ERA was 2 runs higher in the postseason, but that's because his ERA was so low in the regular season. He was such a great regular season pitcher. You expected the same level of greatness, and you got goodness or mediocrity.
Yeah, and if you look at the people who would be considered like his, contemporaries or his equals in terms of like level of play, you look at someone like Verlander, Max Scherzer, Madison Bumgarner didn't do it for as long, but got the reputation of being an absolute bulldog in the postseason. But if we're matching career for career, I think you have to take Kershaw over any of the others.
I have one other thing about Kershaw that you're going to need your glasses for.
Okay. I appreciate the warning.
I think we have a doppelganger for Clayton Kershaw.
Oh, I see it.
Now here's the problem. On the one side there, you see Kershaw grew the beard, and Matt doesn't have a beard, so through a little bit of magic, there's what he looks like with the beard. I think that's like stunningly close.
I think Matt has better hair though. Kershaw's beard is patchy.
Well, no, it's not. Not on the with the white jersey on. The young picture on the left. I think the patchiness comes in, but that's also a Photoshop beard. I couldn't find a picture of Matt with a beard, so I had to give him one.
And if we're doing a pros and cons, I would say Kershaw has had more postseason success than Matt has, but I would say Matt is the better musician.
That's a good bet. I don't know if Kershaw plays anything. I didn't check this. How tall is Matt?
Like 6'3".
Kershaw is 6'4", 2.25. If you're saying Matt's 6'3", like they're about the same size and frame then too.
Yeah. Matt's a righty though.
Well, I mean,
so if you put him in your rotation, switch things up.
They can go.
Line up guessing.
They can go back to back, and so Clayton Kershaw calling it a career. The other thing that I heard on the radio is he wanted to announce this so that it wasn't a distraction. Announcing it a week before the regular season ends, when you haven't clinched the West yet, like you made the playoffs. He won the game yesterday to clinch the playoff spot for them. how is that anything but a distraction now going into the playoffs, knowing this could be his last game with you?
Yeah, this is going to be the dominant season for however long the Dodgers are in the playoffs. Is win another ring for Kershaw.
Yeah.
If he didn't want it to be a distraction, you'd announce it in December.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, either way, that's a happier story in terms of Major League Baseball. The downside, have you seen what's going on in Detroit? 15-game lead has evaporated to 1.
We can make this a more positive by saying, have you seen what's going on in Cleveland?
Cleveland. Yeah, there you go. Cleveland they swept Detroit earlier, and they're out by 1 game now. But a 5-game skid since Detroit hung 23 runs on the Yankees in games 1 and 2. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They got swept by the Marlins of all teams, and they have a huge series. They finished with Atlanta today, excuse me, before they go to Cleveland for what really may decide the Central. That series is going to be super exciting this coming week.
Yeah, only about 7 games left in the season, and I really like how we're coming down to the wire here where in the National League, the divisions are basically decided, but the Reds are only a game out behind the Mets in the wild card. And in the AL, you have 4 teams fighting for those 3 wild card spots. Boston's not guaranteed anything.
I think you have 5 teams now because, Seattle has a 2-game lead on Houston. Seattle was hot.
Yeah.
They've got one more huge game against Houston today. That's a big one. They finished their year with Colorado and the Dodgers. Now, if the Dodgers have the West clinched, their magic number is 4. If they have the West clinched, maybe they give a couple guys a day off and whatever. Baseball's not like football like that. You guys want to play every day.
Right, but get the rotation set, whatever you need to do.
That's how Seattle ends. Houston ends with the Athletics and the Angels. So I would say edge Houston there, but Seattle's got a 2-game lead.
The Athletics are no joke. They've exceeded expectations. And, they have a lot of nice young talent with, the Wilson kid and Trent Rooker. They're good.
The Athletics will.
Trent Rooker.
It's not a lock, but they probably will not finish in last place.
Yeah.
But in terms of the wild card, like you said, right now the Yankees have the top wild card. The Mets or the Red Sox rather in second. But between Cleveland, Houston, Seattle, Detroit, how things get lined up there, that'll be a fun way to end the regular season in the American League. Like you mentioned, the National League, Milwaukee has a magic number of 1. Chicago's in the playoffs as well. The magic number in LA is 4. Things are pretty much set. I would love to see Cincinnati make the playoffs.
Me too.
I really would.
After spending all that money, can you imagine?
And not just because Ellie De La Cruz is cool, but yeah, let's knock the Mets out.
Just like the amount of flop sweat and tears in Queens right now is devastating.
Yankee news: the Yankees, the division's not out of the realm of possible. They're out by 2, which really makes the last 7 games they played with Toronto really sting. I know Toronto had a 4-game sweep. I think they beat them 3-0 as well. I think they won the last 7 games. So when you're out of the East by 2 games, that's brutal. Boston kind of went on a slump when who's the kid? Roman Anthony.
Anthony, yeah.
When Roman Anthony went down with that oblique strain, that really did a number on them. But they're hanging tight in the playoff race. They're slow and steady. Who are they going to finish the year with? I had this before, but they finished with Toronto and Detroit. I need them to really sweep Toronto. That's
and I'll tell. And with Detroit in desperation mode, that truly could decide the last wild card spot.
It could
if Cleveland stays hot.
So whoever made the schedule, some interesting stuff here as we close out the regular season. Next Sunday is the last game of the regular season, right?
And Yes, it is. And I think I made this point to you. I might have texted you. This will be the first season since 2014, most likely, unless Milwaukee just runs the table, where we won't have a 100-win team in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, as you said. Right
You know,
now,
so everyone's talking about the
Milwaukee,
Dodgers being the dominant team, and if anything, this year has been defined by parity.
Milwaukee 95 wins, would have to win 5 of their last 7, which includes a game at St. Louis, 3 games in San Diego, and 3 games home against Cincinnati. So aside from St. Louis, 2 playoff contenders.
Who's the primetime game tonight?
Tonight, I click on the MLB schedule. ESPN game. This makes sense. Seattle at Houston.
Did you see? I can't remember if it was yesterday or Friday. Did you see the finish to their game though, where someone from Houston hit a gapper, and the Seattle right fielder came over and made an absolute amazing diving stop, catch it, and then doubles up the guy who thought he was scoring at second to end it. Just a walk off.
I saw this. They won 6-4.
Yeah, it was like a walk-off 9-6 double play.
I'll find MLB Network online and see if I can find that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a crazy play.
All right, so we're at this time, quick hitter time. There's a lot of quick hitters. Are you ready?
I am always ready for a quick hitter.
I got 7 of them. So number 1. Staying in baseball, the Los Angeles Angels are going to finish with a sub-500 record for the 10th straight year. 2 for here. How bad do you feel for Mike Trout?
Not all that bad. He could have left. He took the money, punted on the money, I should say, to stay. And I like his loyalty. He's had I feel bad for him injury-wise, but not for being stuck in Anaheim.
See, injury-wise, going back to last Thursday, 25 at-bats, 15 strikeouts. Ugh. He did, however, hit home run number 400 yesterday, which leads into part 2 of this quick hitter. The fan who caught homer number 400 had one request to give it back. He wanted to play catch with Mike Trout.
I saw that.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
And look, Mike Trout, one of the good guys in the sport, and also, shout out for being an Eagles fan from Millville, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, number 2, staying with the aforementioned Mike Trout. Mike Trout had inked a contract extension through the 2030 season back in 2019. That means the Angels owe him $35,542,000 for the next 5 years. That's a total of $177.7 million. How bad do you feel for LA?
They knew what they were doing. They were playing the odds. It didn't work out, but it was a smart deal on their part. They were lucky to.
Apparently, yeah.
They were lucky to get that deal done. It just, with his injuries, it didn't pan out.
All right. A couple weeks back, we talked about Ohio State fans bitching about noon games on Fox. Well, now the Spartans of Michigan State have the opposite gripe. You see, Spartan fans were furious to learn that Fox was going to air their team's game against USC at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, which means it wasn't going to end until after 2 in Michigan. Do Spartan fans have more of a gripe, less of a gripe, or an equal gripe as Ohio fans?
There's no gripe. And I stayed up to watch that entire game last night. It ended like at 2:45 in the morning. There's no gripe because when you expand to the West Coast, when you say our conference is now going to span time zones, that's the cost of doing business. If you're going to take the money from expansion, this is what happens.
There you go. All right. Just in this today, breaking news: Asia Wilson has become the WNBA's first 4-time MVP. Vegas ending their season on a 16-game winning streak. They win their first-round playoff series, and now they face Indiana in the semis. Man, the WNBA misses Caitlin Clark more than ever, don't they?
Yeah, but, the playoffs have been fun. And look, Asia Wilson, very deserving. I'm surprised. I thought it might be Nafisa Collier in Minnesota, but you can't go wrong with. She's a walking double-double.
There you go. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, the WNBA fined her $200 for a social media post about officiating in the first round of the playoffs. Now, the WNBA doesn't typically announce when they fine a player, and maybe this is why. Clark's teammate Sophie Cunningham tweeted out, "That's really going to break the bank for her. Start a GoFundMe now." How bad does this make the WNBA look?
Yeah, it makes them look like just like a dog and pony show. That's ridiculous. Like $200. Like I just saw a TikTok of Caitlin Clark having dinner at Bizarre Meats in Vegas. She probably dropped $200 on the tip.
Which reminds me, this is not on the script, so forgive me if I biff something. 1991, I want to say, maybe it's 1990, the movie Pretty Woman. Richard Gere asks Julia Roberts how much for the full night, and she's like, "You can't afford it." And he's like, "Try me." She says $300. This guy's wearing a $65,000 suit. He could afford $300. Caitlin Clark makes $1 trillion. $200 is not even like, what are we thinking here?
I'll just say this off of that point. Our confirmation was in October of 1991. I made roughly $1,000 in confirmation gifts, which means I could have had 3 weeks or 3 nights with Julia Roberts.
Or you could have paid the WNBA fine 5 times. Moving on. Number 6. The National Toy Hall of Fame has announced its finalists. They include Battleship, Catan, Connect 4, Cornhole, the Furby, the Scooter, Slime, Snow, like legitimate precipitation, Snow, the Spirograph, a Star Wars lightsaber, Trivial Pursuit, and Tickle Me Elmo. You get 1 vote every day from September 17th till the 24th, so you can still vote today. If you choose to vote, Tim, who are you voting for?
So is this like the inaugural class?
No, they've done this. They've done this bunch. Okay. So Catan is a board game, and I was going to go to Board Game Geek and let people know, hey, check it out, Catan made it. But they had actually been nominated back in 2019 as well. So they've been doing this for a while.
So me personally, I vote Trivial Pursuit.
Okay.
I love trivia.
My lone vote was for the Star Wars lightsaber, really just for Derek.
That makes sense. But that's a close number 2 for me.
I'll tell you what though. I mean, the Scooter, that's a Hall of Fame toy, man.
I got a scooter for my 9th birthday, and it was one of the best birthday gifts I ever got.
And in terms of board games, Catan it's a board game Hall of Fame easily. I have a hard time calling board games toys. I know you play them and like it. I don't know. Do you call a puzzle a toy?
I mean, certainly more than Snow. Let's be real.
Snow? I mean, you're building snow castles, snow forts, or snowball fights.
But a toy, in my mind, is something manufactured.
Gotcha. Okay, here we go. Last one, number 7. Samsung confirms that its $1,800 and above refrigerators will now start showing advertisements. 2-parter. Number 1, do we really need refrigerators that have monitors on them? And do we really need to have refrigerators that play ads? I think this is going to be more annoying than when pop-up ads first appeared on the internet.
I do not need a monitor on my refrigerator. Sometimes there just need to be quiet spaces where you can have solitude, particularly from advertising. This reminds me of, did you see the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise, like back in 2001, 2002?
Yeah. I saw it on like I never saw it in theaters, and I saw like the abbreviated censored version if it needed to be censored, because I watched it on cable.
Well, and it's based on a Philip K. Dick novel, and it predicted a future where ads would be everywhere. Like you'd be riding the subway, and there would be ads targeted specifically to you. And it just makes me realize how prescient that was. I
can't imagine ever needing, like, there's the thing the smart house concept where, hey, Alexa or whoever, turn the lights on in this room or turn this on in this room. It feels very Jetsons-like to me.
That's a great comparison. Rosie's really just a fancy Roomba.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the same vein that you said we don't need advertising everywhere, in the vein of not having advertising on this show, I think we really should. So when the weather turns chilly, nothing warms the soul like a hearty bowl of soup and meatballs. Made with slow simmered broth, savory spices, and juicy meatballs. It's comfort food done right.
I would 100%.
Whether it's dinner with the family.
I would go the Donovan McNabb route and 100 be a shill for chunky soup.
We should try to get like some kind of soup sponsorship, but
I showed you the soup I made this week.
Yeah, it was good, except you went a little heavy on the veggies. Was that the pasta vazul?
Yeah, and I did put carrot, onion, and celery in there.
Yeah, celery doesn't go anywhere in pasta vazul, and I didn't see the carrot. Thankfully, too many beans. But otherwise, I mean, it looked really good.
Kale, there was some kale in there for iron.
Kale, what's wrong with you?
I'm trying to sneak more vegetables into my diet.
Well, you don't do it in pasta vazul.
Yes, I did.
Make a quiche.
I do. It's very good.
All right, it's draft time here on Soup and Meatballs. Tim, what are we drafting today?
We are drafting. We were kind of hard up for a topic, and I was like, "Oh, today is the anniversary in 2008 of the old Yankee Stadium closing." And so I said, "What if we draft our favorite defunct Major League Baseball stadiums?"
Sounds like a plan. I don't even know why I'm shuffling these. Because I like shuffling stuff. Gives me something to do while you introduce the segment. Okay, so let's learn a little bit about famous American documents and draft something. Number and color.
4 red.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Lee Resolution. This resolution, named for Richard Henry Lee of Virginia, who proposed to Congress, was the formal assertion passed by the Second Continental Congress declaring the establishment of a new country of the United Colonies independent from the British Empire, creating what became the United States of America. The formal Declaration of Independence was signed 2 days later.
We're getting a lot of documents from like the birth of the country.
Well, and with that, it is the 7 of spades, which is in fact black.
Damn you!
Well,
Richard
I mean,
Lee.
I think that's only a fair thing here. Max is going to pick first, and this is definitely no surprise. I will take the aforementioned the old Yankee Stadium, where I remember this date in it was 2008. I had wanted to get tickets to this game because Baltimore was coming to town, and I thought I want to be the last person in the building. Like, there's a guy on TikTok named GFed who does this, who had this shtick, like, how long can I stay in the stadium? And like, he stayed for like an hour and a half with some of them. But I thought to myself, it'd be really cool if I was the last fan to walk out of the building that year. But the tickets for that game sold in like 10 seconds. And then ESPN did the whole broadcast with it where, they had their set on the field. It was like a World Series game, and it was a team that didn't make the playoffs. I have one of my favorite pictures. Like, I got pictures all over the room here. One of my favorite pictures, 11:41, the last pitch thrown. Mariano Rivera's throwing a pitch. The only bummer is Derek Jeter's not in the picture because they had taken him out. They have the backup shortstop in there.
Yeah, and we both, you more than me, but we both have a lot of good memories associated with that place.
Oh yeah, the best game we've ever been to. July
you got engaged there?
I did.
my first ball game ever. I've told the story, but my first ball game, my dad took me there.
So that I don't think that's a surprising first pick by me.
I'm gonna maybe surprise you with my first pick, where it's not a team I root for, but and a lot of these picks are going to be nostalgia. They're mostly from my lifetime. I have really good memories of Candlestick Park in San Francisco.
Candlestick Park actually made the short list of honorable mentions. What are your memories of Candlestick other than we know it can survive an earthquake?
I just remember, particularly from football, when the Niners would be playing in just like the infield dirt. I just remember people complaining about the cold and the wind. And like, I remember being a kid and being like, but it's California. How could it be cold? Until I went to San Francisco, I was like, oh, this is why it's cold. It's right on the ocean. Just a really cool place. And I associate it with like baseball's move westward, like that in the old Dodger Stadium. So yeah, definitely Candlestick Park for me.
And if you look at what parks replaced these parks, I think, and this is just me personally, I think new Yankee Stadium was a step down. For the players, no. I mean, the amenities in new Yankee Stadium for the players is tremendous. But the bowl construction of old Yankee Stadium versus the how noise reverberates, Candlestick. What's the? It's not Pac Bell. What's it now?
I forget what it's called now. And I've been there. It's a beautiful park that they have.
I think visually, yeah, because I like McCovey's Cove, the whole home run thing there. I don't know if it's a step up for Giants fans. And like you said, a lot of these are going to be, I mean, there's only so many Yankee stadiums that I can pick that aren't around. So Candlestick was one that I remembered.
And that's one other thing with the older stadiums is I like how they had memorable names. They weren't named after corporations. Candlestick Park, Fenway Park. Wrigley's named after a family that has the business, but like Crosley Field, the Baker Bowl. Like they're memorable. Like you can't naming rights get sold so frequently now that you can't even remember the name of some of the stadiums in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my old man.
There you go.
Soapbox away here.
My number two, and when I was doing some research, what you discover is a lot of these stadiums that were built were cookie cutters. They all looked the same. They had the same kind of outer bowl and outer shape. And this one was described as the worst of all of them. It was called the Field of Seams. But I'm going to take the Vet simply because it was the site of my first game, like you said, and that's a special piece of nostalgia. I remember walking into the stadium. It was Mets at Phillies, and I thought to myself, "Holy cow! I've never seen something this green before." It was turf, but my dad took me down, and I forget if it was a bus trip or not. I mean, I remember asking him to buy me a Mets hat so that I could root against the Phillies. And I remember asking him, would it be okay if I yelled at the umpire? And he said, yeah, sure, you'll fit right in. Now, we were so far away, the umpire wasn't going to hear a little 7-year-old kid. But just the sheer size of being in a baseball stadium for the first time. And I had taken a couple other trips down there, like I think Hazleton Little League took a trip down there, or the Babe Ruth trips did. They got Vet tickets, and of course you got the Eagles fans at the 700 level during football season as well. That they're vaunted themselves. So I'll take the Vet.
Yeah, and we with our dads we went to see an Eagles Bears game.
We did. That was a bus trip. I remember.
Yeah.
Because my baseball coach went to that game wearing a Cowboys jersey.
That was also I saw a game there. I want to say Schmidt's not long after Mike Schmidt retired, like mid-season in '89. And I want to say I went to the Vet, and it was the first time I saw someone urinate in public.
Those memories don't leave you, do they?
Like I remember walking by, And I was just like, the bathroom's right there. Why? Like, I didn't ask my dad. Like, I was trying to puzzle it out in my own mind. I was like, just walk 10 more steps, and there's a perfectly fine urinal.
That's tremendous. Oh man. Oh, you know what? Well, let's go back to my first pick, Yankee Stadium. I saw my very first sink shower, and I think that might have been Cone's perfect game because it was about 107 degrees. There was a guy basically bathing himself in the sink. There's some good gross things that happen at baseball parks. That's good.
Absolutely fun time for the fans.
So there you go. My number 2 pick is the vet. Where are you going, number 2?
Where am I going to go number 2? I'm going to go with just a classic choice, and I'm going to go with the old Tiger Stadium.
Oh, man, that was my next pick.
Yeah, just one of those great palaces. It's one of the first stadiums I remember seeing on TV when the Tigers were winning the World Series in '84. I remember, like, my dad had the playoffs on, and, like, I didn't quite follow along, but I just associate that place with playoff baseball. Just
the roof structure, Cecil hitting the roof.
The old clips of Reggie Jackson hitting it off the overhang in right field.
Like those kind of, like, when you think about stadiums, you get the big green monster in Fenway, you get the Yankee Freeze, the awful turf at the vet. Like, yeah, the roof in Tiger Stadium it's iconic for that area. It's very Midwestern, I think.
And the whole reason they put that overhang on there was because I forget if it's Trumbull or Michigan Avenue, but like home run balls were like affecting traffic, and so they put like the overhang there to try to keep balls in the park.
Keep them in. I didn't know that. That's tremendous stuff.
Yeah, really cool stadium.
Yeah. Okay, so I can't take Tiger Stadium. Well, I'll take this stadium that, the Yankees have had a lot of success there in my lifetime, but the first memory I have of this stadium was during I'm going to get the year. I'm going to say the 1992 World Series because I think it was 92. I'm going to take the Metrodome in Minneapolis.
That was on my list.
The only stadium to ever host a World Series, an All-Star game, a Super Bowl, and a Final Four, and the outfield wall was a trash bag.
Yeah, the place was a toilet. It really was an eyesore. But an endearing eyesore.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these places that's the reason why they don't exist anymore. But seeing an outfielder jump up against the hefty bag was kind of neat. And the ceiling or the roof, I think, got a lot of flack because I think it was white. And
people would constantly lose pop flies in the roof of the dome.
Tropicana Field is the same kind of thing. That did not make my list because that's too trashy. But the Metrodome had the Metrodome had a warmth to it that was a little different. I can't explain it.
Plus, like, one of the great nicknames for a stadium of the era that people called it the Humpty Dome because it was the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
Yeah,
and people just shortened it to the Humpty Dome.
The Humpty Dome. I didn't know that either. But you know what? Yeah, that's I now feel much better for having drafted it.
So I'm going to go with another one, and again, another place that it was admittedly an eyesore. But it was another one where I just associated with the baseball of my youth because it was probably the team I watched the most in the 80s. I'm going to go with the old Shea Stadium.
Shea. Shea did not make my list because I had been there. And, I mean, it's not that the game itself was a bad memory. But, yeah, it was when the Mets moved to whatever their new field is now. Massive upgrade. Upgrade.
But I just think of, like, the home run, the big apple that would come
the little apple coming out of the hat.
And it would only work like 80% of the times. Like, sometimes it would get stuck. Same as with Tiger Stadium.
It was right by the airport, the planes flying right by.
Yeah, you would see, like Keith Hernandez would step out of the box because planes would be leaving LaGuardia. Just a real toilet.
I'll give you that. I forget who they played when I went. I went with Rigotti and his buddy Larry. They might, you know what? I think they played the Phillies. So let's just say that. We did see a home run, so the apple, and it did make it out. You could see the apple in the hat, though, especially from where we were sitting. It's like you could see the mushroom top of it. It was weird.
Yeah, there's just something like, and you used the phrase like cookie cutter. Like Shea is of that era, but was not cookie cutter. It was distinctly ugly.
Yeah. I don't know if this one is going to be classified as cookie cutter or not. The outside probably is, but the inside hosted a lot. They called it the eighth wonder of the world only because they didn't know who Andre the Giant was. Let's go with the Astrodome. That it had a gun shooting scoreboard. It had some of the hardest turf, if you call it that. They played high school football there, I think.
The Bad News Bears played there.
That one of the most famous stadiums in any kind of stadium in the 80s. I think you have to include the Astrodome in that.
And it's funny because they started in 1962 as the Houston Colt 45s.
Colt 45s.
Before like all the space age NASA craze, and then they were like, oh well, we'll just be the Astros. But you're right, like it was seen as like this like architectural marvel. And now looking back,
was it the first dome back in? They opened in '65.
I believe it was the first dome, and they originally tried to have real grass inside. That did not work out.
They were just going to water it every day from the inside. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the logistics of what they were thinking to make that work, but obviously they then went to turf, and they had some really good teams there. They had those like J.R. Richard, Nolan Ryan teams, and like the '86 team that was like just like a whisker from the World Series.
Billy Davis.
Yeah, Mike Scott with his dirty split finger fastball. So I'm going to go with one that is not from our lifetimes, but I heard enough stories from my dad having gone there as a kid. It's the old Polo Grounds.
Polo Grounds made my list. And, that was my my backup had you gotten Old Yankee Stadium because the Yankees played at Polo Grounds as well. The dimensions of this thing, if you go look at the pictures, absolutely wild.
Yeah, like 280 down the line. Well, because it was built like an oval. It was built for playing polo. And like 485 to dead center. 7,000
feet to center field. That's where Willie Mays makes his catch.
Yeah, like any other stadium, Vic Wertz hits that. Like it was like 460 off the bat. But he did it at the Polo Grounds, and Willie Mays was able to just dead sprint and back to the plate, catch it over the shoulder.
And we've talked about this in the past, but that's one of the things I love about baseball. Like in football, you have your field. It is what it is. In basketball, you have your court. It is what it is. In baseball, you have your infield. That is what it is. But the dimensions of the rest of it are what they can be. And, yeah, you hit a ball 500 feet to center field in the Polo Grounds, might be a double.
And that's why I don't get when people are like, well, that would have been an out in 30 other stadiums. And it's like, tough.
Nope.
Like the same with the tush push. It's like that's like, why are we trying to get rid of the uniqueness of the game? Like they played in this stadium and it was a home run. So deal with it. I love it. So is there another stadium from that era? I have it written down here. The Polo Grounds closed 1963. So if like that early time, was there a more famous stadium? Maybe Ebbets Field?
Yeah. Since I can't take the Polo Grounds, I have a handful here. And I'll tell you what, I will take one that's not from our lifetimes as well, simply because that's where the New York Highlanders got their start. Hilltop Park, originally named for being the top ridge of Manhattan Island. it's now the New York Presbyterian Columbia University Medical Center. So it was where the Highlanders, the Yankees got their start, but it's now a medical facility. So it's still helping people.
And, kind of going back to the Polo Grounds, I also think it's cool that it was along like a part of Manhattan called Coogan's Bluff. Like it sounds like something out of myth when you talk about 1951 and the miracle at Coogan's Bluff. Like it sounds like a fable, like something that
it sounds like a mystery novel.
Yeah. I've got to be honest. I don't know much about Highland Park.
Hang on for a second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think my headset died.
Oh, okay.
We are headsetless now for the remainder of the show. Hopefully the audio doesn't suck on us. So, okay. So I got my 5. You got one more coming?
Ooh, I've got a list here too. I'm between 2. I'll tell you the one I'm not going to name is County Stadium in Milwaukee, which almost made the list because it's where Major League was filmed.
I had that on my list as well.
I'm going to go with the early
sliding into a vat of beer is what I wrote.
Yeah, and that's where the sausage races started. Just like a very Midwestern baseball place.
And once another note here for County Stadium. Allegedly, they had a 45,000 person crowd who ate 100,000 sausages.
Ooh. It's a lot of sodium.
2.25 per fan. You could handle that back in the 80s.
I'm going to go with Olympic Stadium in Montreal, though.
Okay.
Just because, for whatever reason, I have a fondness for the old Expos. That's another place that it's still standing. It hasn't been used since like 2004, but it's still there.
But nothing goes, like no concerts, no events?
No sports events anyway.
Okay.
And it's just a place that I associate with those old Expos teams, and Tim Raines. Yeah. Just and it's a place, even when they were playing there, like slabs of concrete were falling from the ceiling. Like it was not a good facility.
Andres Galarraga is like dodging K-bars.
That's a home field advantage. It's like the being by the sewage facility at Bloom.
It is. There you go. Any other parks make your list? I had one other one.
I had Old Comiskey Park.
That's the other one I had written down.
And I had Old Busch Stadium just because I remember the turf would always get so hot and they would like show the thermometer that was like on the field it's 135 degrees.
I think it was Cincinnati. I first saw that baseball players would put lettuce in their hats.
Yeah.
To try to cool down. But yeah, you'd definitely have to have lettuce in St. Louis.
Cincinnati was another, and one of the Kingdome too also was on.
I have no good memories of the Kingdome. I'm glad it's gone. I'll say about that. All right, here we go. Top 5 time, and this was one that it's a repackaged top 5. What did we top 5 last week? Do you remember?
We drafted wrestling finishing moves,
but we had some other top 5 that was, I think, more topical, based on, or is it managers? I don't know.
We drafted managers 2 weeks ago.
This is one we had in the can that you had thought of. You wanted to look at baseball's MVP seasons of all time, and I tried to keep the ones that I picked in my lifetime. So I'm not going to be. I won't take the controversial 1941 MVP. As I looked them up, the number 1 MVP, if you're looking at WAR, wins above replacement, was Walter Johnson's 1913 MVP. I guess 36 wins will do that with an ERA of 1. But I kept him in my lifetime.
This might be a Soup and Meatballs miscommunication. I thought we were going to pick our 5 to 1 for this year's MVP.
Oh no. Yeah, a little bit. Well,
Well,
I can.
I think we should still do it where you give your 5 and I give my 5, even though they're two different topics.
Well, you know what we were gonna do. You were gonna let us know your top 5 favorite Robert Redford movies as well. So, well, okay,
So I'll give you both my MVPs and a Robert Redford movie, and you give me your top 5 MVP seasons.
sounds good. Well, I'll see if you can pick the 5 MVPs that I picked. That'll be fun.
Okay. Should
So,
I
who are,
try to
who are
pick?
your top 5 contenders?
What's that?
Who are your top 5 contenders?
So I'll start with number 5. You know, he's a guy who kind of started as like a little bit of like he can't be the MVP, but I think he's played himself into the conversation. Kyle Schwarber.
Okay,
You know, 50 whatever home runs he's at now. Phillies win the
53.
East. Yeah, you know, he's a DH, so he's limited, you know, just by the nature of his position, but he's been incredible.
He's on a first place team. He's got 53 home. He leads the league in runs batted in. Yeah, I don't think that's not a stretch.
And as far as Robert Redford movies, I'll take The Candidate. It's a really good underrated movie of his from the 70s.
Who's number 4?
My number 4, you know, we talked about the Tigers collapsing, but think of how much worse it would be if they didn't have Tarek Skubal playing the way he's been playing.
Oh, I think he's easily the Cy Young winner in the American League.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
I don't know if I'd put him in the MVP list, but I think he's a shoe-in runaway Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
Not shoe-in runaway, because Crochet and Fried have had really good seasons, but I think he wins the Cy Young.
He's not going to be unanimous, but I think he's going to win a pretty considerable margin. As for number 4 Robert Redford movie, I'll go with The Natural.
Oh, that's my number 1.
Number 3, I'll just tell you 3, 2, and 1 for MVP are pretty self-explanatory. I have Judge 3, Ohtani 2, and Dumper 1.
That's fair, and I think the thing about Judge's year, I can't remember the exact weird analytical statistic that somebody cited that his was like 50 points higher than the highest ever or something. Like, I don't understand a lot of the analytic part of baseball. I understand WAR. I understand win above replacement. Like, if I put another right fielder out there, how many wins is Judge worth? I get that. Some of the other stuff, like PGS plus minus, it looks like I'm reading The Matrix. So I try not to base that kind of MVP judgment on. But the fact that Raleigh's a catcher, that he has the most home runs, any switch hitter, and the fact that the Mariners are in first place. It's not like, you know, they're 13 games out of first. Like, no. If you take Judge off this team, I think the Yankees are probably 20 games out of the playoffs. I think you can almost say the same thing about Raleigh. So value wise, yeah, I'm with you. So all-time MVP seasons now. Who do you think made my top 5?
Also for Redford, number 3 is 3 Days of the Condor. Number 2 is The Sting. Number 1 is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I have other memories of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which don't involve watching the movie.
I think I know what you're talking about, you dirty dog.
It's one of the best movies I never watched. Who made my MVP list, Tim? I got 5 of them here, and they're 5 different units.
What about Bonds? Either an 01 or 04.
Well, let me read my script. In 2001, Barry Bonds hit 73 bombs and won his first of 4 in a row. But because San Francisco missed the playoffs, I'm going to take his next season. I took 2002. He walked 198 times, and he still hit 46 home runs. He still hit 100. He still hit 110 RBIs and hit 370. The on-base percentage that he put out, 582, was the highest of all time. until he broke it himself in 2004.
Yeah, with like a 604.
Yeah. So in 2002 was the year the Giants went to the World Series. And, another guy who kind of got lambasted for not showing up in the playoffs, he hit 4 home runs in the 7 games in the World Series, and he hit 417. So Barry Bonds, 2002, made the – I don't know if I ranked these. He made the list. Who else we got?
When did they start giving out the MVP? Was it like 1933 or something like that?
I will tell you, I only chose ones for my lifetime.
Oh, okay.
I know Walter Johnson's 1913 was the highest WAR of all time. So at least in the 1913s, they started giving them out.
Did you only pick position players, or did you pick any pitchers?
I don't know how to answer that.
All right, so Ohtani.
Yes and no. Ohtani's last year, where he didn't pitch, he went 50-50.
Yeah.
That's insane. But the cool thing about that for me was he won the MVP in the National League after he won it in the American League the year before. So the differently, I don't think that's ever been done. I don't think it'll ever be done again. But the fact that he went 50-50 that was my first thought. Like when you came up with this list, or this idea, or at least what I thought the idea was, I thought, oh my, like, I don't think anybody's going to do this again. So yeah, let's go with him. He was the first one I listed, but I don't think I have him ranked.
How about when Harper was unanimous?
No, I didn't put Harper down. I think all of these guys were teammates with there's like a triangle of teammates here.
So Trout.
I think. No, okay, so I just confused you. No, forget that. 2 of them are teammates, one of them not Trout.
Now, these are ones you thought were the best MVP seasons, like not your favorite?
No, I think they were like my favorites. They weren't the best.
So what about Mattingly in 85?
Mattingly in 85 made the list. He was widely regarded as the best player for like a 5-year stretch. What's amazing about his 85 year, I wrote this down, he struck out 41 times in 727 plate appearances. It's 5% of the time. That's insane. And how about this? The Yankees finished second. They won 97 games that year. Do you know who their manager was?
Was it Piniella?
No, it was Yogi Berra and Billy Martin, because Yogi Berra started 6-10. They lost the division to Toronto. Do you know who was managing Toronto?
Jimmy Williams?
Bobby Cox.
I knew it was a familiar name.
Yes, all those years in Atlanta. This was before the wild card, so 97 wins didn't get Donnie in the playoffs. But his 85 season made the list. So now we're looking at 2 guys who were teammates. I know that. I live
2 guys who were teammates.
Not for their MVPs, though, or at least not for one of them.
Is Pujols one of them?
No. American League.
Judge?
Nope.
Well, now I'm just listing random MVPs of our lifetimes. Who are the last 2?
So in 1997, Ken Griffey Jr. This was back around the time where 50 home runs wasn't a big deal. I'm sorry, 50 home runs wasn't like a really big deal.
Yeah.
We had seen Cecil do it. We weren't alive for George Foster. And Albert Bell hit it. And then in 97, that's when like it started. And Griffey hit 56 that year. And the Mariners had a really good team. And I liked watching Ken Griffey play up through his career. And then the other one, his teammate in 2004, 2004 happened. So when 2005 started, I thought it was really important that A-Rod kind of get off to a really good start. This was pre-opt-out A-Rod. I thought much higher of him before the Boston Colorado World Series when he opted out, like during the World Series. That really bugged me, and I don't think I got unbugged by it, if that makes sense. But the 05 MVP season, I remember getting in Photoshop and designing like a wallpaper for the computer, like advocating for a MVP for him. I had a really cool. I have a picture of him holding a bat, but I photoshopped it so it looked like a red lightsaber because of the whole Evil Empire thing.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Jake's take coming in hot here. His I don't know if his favorites. He liked Frank Robinson 61 and 66, winning both leagues. Not back-to-back years though.
I was going to say I didn't know if you were referencing winning in one league and then the next year in the other league.
Yeah,
but yes, that's Frank Robinson, sure.
So that you know what? That's we get multiple lists here. We got all kinds of weird stuff, and we were throwing a wrench in the whole Mr. Smarty Pants thing because you said you have 2 lists for me now.
I do have 2 lists for you.
Gosh, this is going to be rough. So the Mr. Smarty Pants segment is really for Mr. Smarty Pants, which is that guy. I am less smart, but let's see how I do.
Okay. So there are 7 quarterbacks whose career either partially or completely was in the Super Bowl era. So 67 to present. Who made the Hall of Fame without ever winning a Super Bowl. So how many of the 7 can you get?
I don't know. Jim Kelly.
That's 1.
Warren Moon.
That's 2.
Fran Tarkenton.
That's 3.
Now we got to stop and think for a little bit. Is Boomer a Hall of Famer? No, yeah, Boomer didn't win a Super Bowl. Did Boomer make the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay.
There's a big one you're overlooking.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
So I got 4 out of 7. So I win the series 4-1.
There you go. One more that I think you could get, and then 2 I'd be surprised if you get.
There's 4 more?
No, there's 1 I think you could get. 2 others who I don't think you will get.
Gotcha. Okay, so you think I get 1 more? I'm going through Tecmo Super Bowl now, and I got stuck on Steve DeBerg.
No, I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint for the guy I think you should or could get. Never made a Super Bowl, came close, played in the 80s in the AFC West.
A Raider?
No.
Okay. I for some reason, I was stuck there. Oh, my heavens.
He's in the movie The Waterboy.
Louis Boucher?
It is not Bobby.
Oh my god. So the characters in the Waterboy that I know are Adam Sandler, Henry Winkler, and Paul Wright the Giant.
So this is someone playing. This is someone playing himself.
Oh my gosh. Help me out. I got nothing.
Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he had left it all on the field. Okay.
The last
Who are the other 2?
These are guys whose careers kind of spanned pre-Super Bowl and then like into the late 60s and 70s. One of them played for the Raiders until he was almost 50.
And maybe that's the Raider guy I was thinking of. And his name is lost somewhere in there. I'm not getting it.
George Blanda.
Blanda. Did Blanda play with the Colts too?
No, I believe he was a Raider for his career.
Gotcha. Okay.
The last guy played for these guys. He played for a couple different teams. Never won a Super Bowl. Did win an MVP. Threw for more than 35,000 career yards, I believe.
Sonny Jurgensen.
It's Sonny Jurgensen.
Hey.
Look at you.
I'll call it a tie. So 4-2-1. Yeah, I win the series.
All right. This one is it's going to be tough, but I think if you dig deep, I think you got it.
If it's the list of foods I ate for breakfast and dinner the last 7 days, I have a shot.
So since 1992, the Chicago Bears have had 17 quarterbacks start at least 10 games for them. How many of the 17 can you name?
Not a lot, I bet. But Eric Kramer.
Yes.
Jay Cutler.
Yes.
Did Rick Meyer start 10 for us?
No.
Would Harbaugh be on that list?
Harbaugh is on that list.
Justin Fields.
Yes.
Some of the early guys. Oh, boy.
You're forgetting an obvious one.
Rex Grossman.
Yes.
Went to the Super Bowl. Caleb Williams.
That's the obvious one.
The obvious one. I'm trying to think of 90s Bears quarterbacks.
You've got 6.
That's my goodness. 10 starts or less. 10 starts or more. I said Cutler. My goodness. Yeah, this is digging deep.
And there are some names here that are absolute reaches. So, if you can remember the guy before Fields, he's a guy who took a snap last week. Not for Chicago, but for an AFC team.
The Bears had before Fields. They had Nick Foles for a while. I don't think he started 10.
He did not start 10, but they did have Foles. The guy I'm referencing who was before Fields is currently the backup in Buffalo.
Trubisky. Yeah. The number 2 pick in the draft.
You have 2 quarterbacks on this list with remarkably similar last names.
Oh my heavens! This is the best part of the show. Watching the guys struggle.
Is this better than watching us dance?
No, actually, I think the dancing would be better. My goodness. What do I have? 7?
Yes.
I'm gonna punt with 7. Oh
Okay.
my gosh, that's terrible. Who am I missing? Because now it's gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
So in order from 92, it's Jim Harbaugh, Steve Walsh.
Steve Walsh. You know what? I have a Steve Walsh jersey up in my room for some reason. Why do I have a Steve Walsh jersey? Because he started 10 games.
You want to relive the glory days? I don't know. Eric Kramer, who you said, Dave Craig.
I don't even remember Dave Craig. I remember him with the Seahawks.
Steve Stenstrom.
He started 10 games.
Exactly 10 games.
Oh, God.
The pride of the Florida Gators, Shane Matthews.
I remember the name Shane Matthews. I couldn't remember him with the Bears, though. Wow.
Someone they drafted with very high hopes, a lefty from UCLA, Cade McNown.
Oh, Cade McNown. Oh, God, he was terrible.
And then when I said there were 2 guys with similar sounding names, it was Cade McNown and Josh McCown.
Josh McCown. Oh, wow. Yeah, no.
Then after Cade McNown, it was Jim Miller, who took him to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles.
That was the double doink guy.
What's that?
Was he the double doink guy?
No, Jim Miller got knocked out of the NFC Championship game. He got squashed by Hugh Douglas.
Was that the same year they lost in the double doink or no?
No, this would have been back in like 2002. Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandler.
Here's a name I'm surprised you didn't get.
Bears fans don't remember Chris Chandler. Gosh.
Kyle Orton.
Guy from Purdue with the big beard. Yeah.
And then
Kyle Orton, that was around the time I stopped really following the Bears because they sucked really bad. Not that they didn't suck earlier, but yeah, I stopped watching them for a long time for mental health purposes.
Here's a name that's been lost to the ages. Caleb Haney.
Caleb Haney. Yeah, that's
and then
same time frame, I bet.
And then Josh McCown, Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams.
Wow, that's brutal. So now let's actually ask Mr. Smarty Pants some stuff because you are actually Smarty Pants. I got a couple questions from a TikTok account, and I'm questioning these because I know they got one wrong.
Okay.
So I eliminated that question. I got 3 questions on a list for you here. So according to whoever this TikTok channel was, who holds the all-time record for the most passing touchdowns in week 1 of the NFL season?
How about Dan Marino?
They did not say Dan Marino. Probably a good guess, though.
How about Drew Brees?
Not Drew Brees. Same right era, though.
Brady?
Not Brady. Right conference.
Manning?
Which one?
Peyton
Manning. Yeah, that's who they give it to. So I'm assuming Peyton Manning is the correct answer. I did not vet these. This is one I'm not 100% on it. I really could have done the research on it, but I didn't. Who was the last Super Bowl champion to miss the playoffs the following year?
Last Super Bowl champion to miss the playoffs the following year.
Not saying it's going to happen this year.
How about the Patriots?
Nope, wasn't the Patriots. Got a lot of years to pick from.
Broncos?
The Denver Broncos from 2016, who were quarterbacked by
Mr. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. How about that? And then they went into, there was another question that I really wish I would have written it down because it was wrong, and I looked it up and it was wrong. But this one, I think it's probably correct. We'll see. Who was the last defensive player to win the MVP in the NFL?
Lawrence Taylor?
It was Lawrence. They said it was Lawrence Taylor. So, yeah, look at that. See, that's how Mr. Smarty Pants is done. Now, list-wise,
keep those answers coming.
List-wise, this is a little combination of the current events and my knowledge of baseball analytics. Clayton Kershaw's career wins above replacement, or WAR, is 77.6. That is the 19th best among pitchers in the live ball era, and the 7th most among pitchers who began their careers after the mound was lowered in 1968. So, since 1968, can you name the is it 7 or is there? No, there's 7 pitchers ahead of Clayton Kershaw on the all-time WAR list. Can you name them?
There are 7 above Kershaw post 68?
Yes.
For a career, not single season, you're saying?
Correct. Yeah, it's career. His WAR for a career is 77.6.
Maddox.
Greg Maddox is at 104.8, so he ranks number 2 on this list.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson is 103.5. He comes in at number 3 on the list.
Pedro
comes in at 86.1. He is 5 on the list.
Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens, 138.7. He is the number 1 answer.
Does their whole career have to be post 68?
I think so.
Okay. I was going to say Tom Seaver, but then probably not Seaver. Okay. How about Verlander?
Verlander is 82.6. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 people ahead of him. Okay, so you're missing 3. You're missing the number 4 guy, the number 6 guy, and the number 8 guy.
Boy, okay. How about Scherzer?
Scherzer's not on the list.
How about Glavine?
Glavine, amazingly, is not on the list. That's a good guess.
Felix Hernandez?
Nope. So let's see here.
Roy Halladay.
Ooh, that's a good guess. No, it's not Roy Halladay. Excuse me.
So how many do I need? 4 or 3?
You need 3. The one guy, this guy has played 1, 2, 3, 5 different teams at a 22-year career.
What about? And I'm not guessing the guy who has the 5 different teams, but what about Schilling?
Kurt Schilling is number 8 on the list, 80.5.
What about Mussina?
Mike Mussina is number 6, 82.8. So the one guy you're missing has one of the best Berman nicknames of all time.
Bert Blyleven?
Bert B. Home Blyleven.
Oh, wow, okay.
And he's the guy who played on 5 different teams.
That tracks.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the Mr. Smarty Pants we all know and love.
And I'm going to give you a 6th Robert Redford movie. Barefoot in the Park.
What's that?
Barefoot in the Park with Jane Fonda.
Oh, okay.
Little bonus content.
Yeah, when we heard that Robert Redford had died, and we usually do something like that movie-wise, I was not shocked at how little of his work that I've seen. I've heard of a lot of it, if that helps, but
great director too.
Was he?
He won an Oscar for Ordinary People.
I suppose, in fact, he is a great director. Last thing, since we didn't do a bunch of basketball season is starting up relatively soon.
Yeah, I have to get my league pass.
Since we didn't do or really don't do any NBA stuff, I thought we could do the Wheel of Names. Come on now. Share our screen here. You got me?
I got you. Okay,
so we're going to do this 6 times now. So point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, and you can pick a 6th man.
Okay.
Okay? So you know the drill, you know the rules. We spin the wheel, we pick a player from that team. Any time they played during that team is fine. We get their whole career.
Gotcha.
And you will start us off with the Washington Wizards.
I'll take Jordan.
Makes a lot of sense. You put him at shooting guard, not at your 6th man.
Well, we'll see how the other 5 shake out.
The Toronto Raptors. I don't have a no-show job for him, but I'm going to take Kawhi Leonard. We'll put him at the 3 for now. Oh, wow. Whew. Miami.
Oh, I'll take LeBron.
One at the 3. That's the. Yeah, I'm definitely playing for 2nd now. Oh, and I got Indiana.
This is the universe making up for me having to take Kevin Brown as my pitcher last week.
I guess so. I'll take Reggie. And Reggie's played Jordan interestingly tough, I guess. So
yeah,
we'll take Reggie Miller. I was going to take Rick Smits, but I think I should take Detlef Schrempf as my sixth man. He was a great sixth man.
Very underrated.
Toronto for you.
I'll take Hakeem Olajuwon.
There. I forgot he spent time in Toronto.
Yeah, he finished out.
Am I going to get Shaq? Yep. Orlando, let's take. Now, see, Shaq versus Olajuwon, you have me there too.
No, Scott Skiles. Interesting.
No, yeah. I do have a point guard opening.
He goes crazy in the second half.
He does. So for you have a point guard opening, a power forward opening, and a sixth man.
And what team did I get?
You got I don't know if you can see. You have the Detroit Pistons.
I'll take Isaiah.
Now, see there, you have Isaiah with Jordan, and now the locker room is a situation.
This is all hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the coach. I'm going to build bridges.
Oh, I had Minnesota, and it went to New Orleans. Oh my gosh. I have to try to think who plays on New Orleans.
Well, so technically you would also – well, no, that's not true. Charlotte has its own history.
Yeah.
One name jumps immediately to mind.
It's only – for me, it's – oh, no. Anthony Davis was a Pelican, wasn't he?
He was.
Okay, I'm going to take Anthony Davis. I'm like, I don't want to take Zion here because he's terrible. No, Anthony Davis at my 4.
See, I jumped to Chris Paul.
Okay, that would have been good too. But I feel good about Anthony Davis.
So I still need a power forward and a sixth man?
You need a power forward and a bench guy. And my goodness. Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I'll take Durant.
Good grief. This is so bad.
I got like 5 of the top 20 players of all time.
I need a point guard and a sixth man. And good. I got the Boston Celtics. I'm going to take Larry Bird. And you know what? He can play point guard.
It kills me that you got Larry.
I know. Well, that's – and, oh, my gosh, as a sixth man, you're going to get a 76er.
I'll take Dr. J.
Oh, you're going to go Dr. J?
Oh, no, I'll go Wilt.
Oh, I'm going to go Wilt.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
I was going to say, but I would have liked AI as a sixth guy too, but
because when I immediately said Dr. J, I was thinking utility where he could play the 2 or the 3.
Yeah.
But Wilt's too good to pass up.
Oh, come on, please stay. Stay. Oh, phew. It was right on the cusp of going from the Utah Jazz to the Washington Wizards. We got John Stockton. So now I think this is going to be bad. I'm going to go to ChatGPT and simulate a series here.
Okay.
Simulate a 7-game series between the following 2 teams. Team 1 has Isaiah Thomas. I won't put positions. I mean, they'll figure it out. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Oh, gosh. Hakeem, Olajuwon, and Wilt Chamberlain. Team 2 has John Stockton, Reggie Miller. How do I spell Kawhi? Kawhi Leonard. Anthony Davis. And Shaquille. Spell Shaquille, right? O'Neal.
Now,
and Larry Bird.
We do know ChatGPT loves Kawhi.
He does. You know what? You should get like one Star Wars character, and I should get one. Play all 7 games on a neutral site with modern officiating. Oh no, because that is just on a neutral site. Period. All right, this is got it. You want the best? Blah, 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 blah. Let's see how this series unfolds. All right, I'm going to tell you this right away because I scrolled down. They have this going 7.
Okay.
And you know what? The more I look at it, my front court between Kawhi, Anthony Davis, Shaq, and like that's not bad. Your back court.
It's a good defensive front court.
It is.
They're all defensive player of the year caliber defenders.
So game 1 they gave to me. Shaq dominated early, got Olajuwon into foul trouble. Jordan dropped 36, but LeBron can't close it. I love it. So I won game 1. You came back and won game 2 because it says Michael Jordan takes it personal. He and Durant torched Leonard and Miller for a combined 63 points. Hakeem adjusts. He limits Shaq to 9 of 22 shooting. Wilt comes off the bench, gets 14 rebounds. So it's 1-1. You win game 3. LeBron shifts into point forward mode. I win game 4 in overtime. An instant classic. Shaq versus Wilt and Hakeem is a war. Shaq gets a late dunk to force overtime. Bird hits a step back 3 over Durant. And we win game 4 by 2. You win game 5 as Durant goes nuclear, 41 points, 7 of 11 from 3-point range. Jordan relentlessly attacks Miller. Team 1's firepower overtakes us. I win game 6, 107-102. And game 7, in a winner-take-all, Team 1 wins 114-109. The brightest shine brightest as Jordan erupts for 38, including a dagger mid-range jumper with 29 seconds left. Jordan's the MVP. Durant's shooting and LeBron's playmaking were decisive, while Hakeem and Wilt provided just enough rim protection to survive Shaq's dominance. So,
ChatGPT really does not like LeBron.
No, well, I mean, I'm here for that. I don't mind. But that was a better series than I really thought it would be on paper. I wonder if you didn't have LeBron, if it would have been so.
I'm curious if I'd had Kawhi and you'd had LeBron.
Switch Kawhi, Leonard, and LeBron James and re-simulate. So we made a trade. I still win game 1. It still goes 7. But you still win it in 7.
Oh.
It doesn't hate LeBron in this second simulation. He gets 31 and 11 in game 4. And I'm also not getting box scores. I'm just getting like little bullets.
Right.
But game 7, classic battle. Jordan and Durant carry the scoring. Kawhi locks down Miller and contests LeBron late. With 42 seconds left, Jordan hits a jumper over LeBron to take the lead. Stockton misses a potential tying 3. I don't know why he's taking the shot, not Reggie Miller. Kawhi seals it with 2 free throws late.
Yeah, ChatGPT really sees Jordan correctly as just a killer.
Yeah. Well.
And it kind of sees LeBron as being soft or like shrinking in big moments. That's really interesting.
Well, I mean, the big prevailing thoughts that you have LeBron in the finals, looking for the best shot, which is not bad basketball. But if Ray Allen misses that 3, that's a title he doesn't get. He often didn't want the ball by himself, where Jordan did.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how. The Kawhi Leonard thing is always funny. Like when we put Kawhi Leonard on the team with Care Bears or something, and we had them play. Who did Kawhi Leonard? Kawhi Leonard beat the best players at every position with like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda.
Yoda, yeah.
Yoda's force knowledge allowed him to be the best point guard on the field. If you watch the lightsaber battle between Yoda and Sidious, though, Yoda would be a problem if he could handle the ball. His hands are like this big, but if he could handle the ball, he'd be a problem.
He's got a good vertical. He can jump.
Oh yeah. So, what's that? 12:15. So what time did the Birds kick off? Are they at 1 or are they late?
It's in Philly, so they're the 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock game. We'll see what teams
I think the games I get Pittsburgh, New England as the CBS game, Philly, LA as the Fox game, and then for 4 o'clock I think I get Denver and the Chargers on CBS, and I might get Dallas. Are Dallas and Chicago at 4?
Dallas and Chicago are the Fox game of the week.
Oh. Okay.
Ooh, yeah. So, I mean, I get to see the Bears like once or twice a year, and I don't. I have to lesson plan and prep for work this week, so I'll have I put the games on my iPad and I'll work. We'll see how long it stays on before I go to like the cable channels, because Sunday's always a good movie day too.
And then
I guarantee there's 7 Marvel Avengers movies on, or Indiana Jones is probably on. I sent you that thing with Indy. I liked that theory thing. That was interesting to me.
It is interesting, but I did think it was kind of a reach. If you want to explain to people watching it.
So the prevailing thought is the Star Wars universe, Han Solo is captured and he's placed in carbonite. And as he's encased in carbonite, he goes through this vivid, lucid dream where he is Indiana Jones. And he goes through the Indiana Jones timeline while he's encased in carbonite. And they showed some, like the George Lucas-y stuff, where in Temple of Doom, the club was like the R2-D2
Obi-Wan,
or the club Obi-Wan. I didn't realize that in like certain parts of the Disney version of Star Wars, like they have those series that like the Shankara stones showed up. I mean, I'm not paying attention that closely, to stuff like that. But that's a neat little thing where, one of the characters in Raiders of the Lost Ark, who was the government worker who asked Indy to get the Ark, was actually Pudgy or Porgy from the Rebel Alliance. He's the same actor. So they're saying he's seeing things and his brain is manipulating them in a way that because it makes sense. I mean, if you're in one Lucas movie, you could be in another. It was a cool little. It was a 8-minute video. The guy put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show like how they drop, like Spielberg and Lucas dropped little Easter eggs, like E.T. being in the Senate chamber in is it Phantom Menace? There's a shot of the Senate chamber and like all the alien races are represented. And
that might have been Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but there's an alien that looks a lot like E.T., kind of like cheering.
But I'll find one of those when the Bears game gets to be out of hand. That's what we'll go to.
I'm curious. Let's hear your score on Cowboys Bears.
All right, 38-31.
You're sticking with 38-31?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Eagles 24-20 with the Rams.
Okay.
It's going to be a scenario where the Rams will need a touchdown late and the Eagles will manage a stop.
Oh, is that today too? No kidding. It took me a while to get this because Roseanne she texted the two of us. It was today in history, in an early year of a decade, not too long before our own, the human race suddenly encountered a deadly threat of its very existence: the arrival of Audrey 2.
The arrival. Oh,
the big plant, and you know what's weird? It's weird that she says that. Yesterday, as I was sitting on my chair, trying to get ready to watch college. We just came back. We took down Jen's the set, which is like basically a city on stage. We get back around 2:30, 2:40 or so. I'm sitting down. I want to watch the IUP game on my iPad while I put whatever college football game is on the TV. And the iPad fell and it nicked my thumb. My thumb is bleeding now. So like I could feed the plant. I won't though, because the more you know.
I think I told you I learned how to play Suddenly Seymour on the guitar.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. I just tuned it this week too, so it's sounding great.
Good for you. So next week we should have some kind of mini concert. you can play something, I'll sing something. It'll be adorable. Kind of
we'll have to work on some sort of duet.
Sounds like a plan. It is 12:20, which I don't know if it's P o'clock for you. I could probably go, but I had a good week. Hope you have a good week. I don't know if we'll see you Saturday or Sunday. Depends on whatever the schedule's like. But either way, out you in internet world, have a good one. He's Soup.